What if I told you that dinosaurs never completely disappeared? There are dinosaurs alive right now. They fly over your house. They walk through parking lots. You probably ate one for dinner. Birds are living dinosaurs. But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is that scientists can already edit the DNA of living animals in ways that reveal traits inherited from their dinosaur ancestors. So could we take a modern bird, change its DNA, and create something that looks like a dinosaur? Maybe. But bringing back a real T-Rex is where things get almost impossible. And the reason has nothing to do with whether we have the technology. It has to do with something dinosaurs left behind. Or rather, something they didn't. About 66 million years ago, an asteroid hit Earth. Within a relatively short period of time, around 3/4 of Earth's species disappeared. And among them were the dinosaurs. Imagine standing in a forest just before that impact. Tyrannosaurs are hunting. Huge plant eaters are moving through the trees. The ground is shaking beneath animals that would look completely alien to us. Then the asteroid arrives. And 66 million years later, we are left with their bones. But there's a problem. We don't have their DNA. And that's a much bigger problem than Jurassic Park makes it look. DNA isn't some indestructible biological hard drive. It breaks apart. Even under exceptionally good conditions, DNA eventually becomes too damaged to read. The oldest DNA ever recovered is roughly 2 million years old. Dinosaurs disappeared around 66 million years ago. That's not a small gap, but that's the difference between finding an old photograph and trying to recover a photograph from before photography existed. So the famous Jurassic Park idea doesn't really work. A mosquito trapped in amber might preserve an incredible fossil, but it wouldn't give us a perfectly preserved dinosaur blood sample waiting to be extracted. And even if we somehow found tiny pieces of dinosaur DNA, we'd still have no idea what most of the missing pieces looked like. It's like finding 100 random letters from a book and trying to reconstruct the entire story. But here's where things take a strange turn, because we may already have something much closer to a dinosaur than we realize. A chicken. Not because chickens secretly turn into raptors, because birds evolved from theropod dinosaurs. The same broad group that included some of the most famous predators ever to walk Earth. Which means evolution didn't completely erase the dinosaur blueprint. It modified it. Over millions of years, some ancient characteristics disappeared or became buried beneath layers of new genetic changes. And scientists have discovered something fascinating. Some of those old developmental pathways still exist. They're just not being used in the same way. In experiments, scientists have manipulated bird embryos to produce features that resemble their dinosaur ancestors. Researchers have investigated how changing certain genes can affect things like the development of a bird's face, teeth, tail, and limbs. And that creates a bizarre possibility. What if instead of resurrecting a dinosaur, we reverse some of the changes that turned dinosaurs into birds? You could potentially start with a chicken and push its development in a more dinosaur-like direction. Longer tail, more ancestral-looking limbs, a different snout, possibly even teeth. You wouldn't have created a T-Rex. You wouldn't even technically have brought back an extinct species. You would have created something completely new, but it could look disturbingly close to the animals that once ruled Earth. And that raises an even bigger question. How far could we take it? Could we eventually make something that looks like a small raptor? Could we recreate feathers, claws, tails, and dinosaur-like behavior? The answer is that we don't currently know. Gene editing is becoming incredibly powerful, But an animal isn't a collection of individual features you can simply switch on and off. Its entire body has to develop as one connected system. Change one gene, and you might affect dozens of other things. You could get the appearance you wanted, and accidentally create an animal that can't survive. And even if scientists solve that problem, there's another one. What exactly are we trying to bring back? We know dinosaurs from fossils, but fossils don't tell us everything. We don't know the exact appearance of many species. We don't know their voices. We don't know every detail of their behavior. We don't even know exactly what some of them looked like in life. So a genetically recreated dinosaur wouldn't necessarily be the dinosaur that existed 70 million years ago. It would be our best reconstruction of one. And then comes the strangest problem of all. Where would it live? The world dinosaurs evolved in is gone. The plants are different. The climate is different. The continents have shifted. And the ecosystems that supported dinosaurs have been replaced by completely different ones. You couldn't simply release a T-Rex into a forest and expect nature to take over. It would be an animal from a world that no longer exists. But here's something that makes the idea even more fascinating. We may not need to recreate dinosaurs at all, because scientists are already working on bringing extinct animals back using genetic technology. The woolly mammoth is one of the most famous examples, and mammoths disappeared only thousands of years ago. Their DNA is vastly younger and better preserved than dinosaur DNA. That makes them a much more realistic target. Dinosaurs? We're dealing with tens of millions of years of missing genetic information. That's an entirely different challenge. So will a real Tyrannosaurus Rex ever walk through a laboratory? With today's technology, almost certainly not. There is no complete T-Rex genome waiting to be recovered. There is no intact dinosaur embryo. And there is no secret Jurassic Park machine just waiting to be switched on. But could we eventually create an animal that looks surprisingly dinosaur-like? That possibility is much harder to dismiss, and maybe that's the strangest part of this entire story. Because the first dinosaur we ever bring back might not come from a fossil. It might come from a chicken. And if that ever happens, humanity won't have resurrected the past. We will have created something the past never knew existed, a new animal, built from the genetic echoes of a world that disappeared 66 million years ago. And the dinosaur apocalypse may have happened millions of years ago, but its DNA may still be whispering through the birds above our heads. Until next time, stay curious.